Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Ashton or Clutch Quindle here, and I'm back with another video. It's been about a month, but um, I don't know. I thought I'd make this video today, just 'cause I felt like it. The gameplay you're watching is Gears of War 4 on PC, and I've absolutely been having a blast with this game. I mean, I stopped playing it for a while on the Xbox One just because I wasn't really having fun with the game, but decided to hop back on PC, and I mean, I've been having a blast with it. It's really smooth, plays really well. I have a lot more fun on PC, and it's cross-platform, so even better. Um, so as you can see in the title, today's video, I just want to talk about a something that I've kind of been going through lately, and kind of maybe give my advice on how other people can handle this sort of situation in the future. And so the topic of today is nostalgic depression. Now, if you don't know what nostalgic depression is, I mean, I'm not even sure if I have the right definition, but from what I understand, nostalgic depression is basically where you're in this state of mind where you just really miss the past and how things used to be so much that you start sort of feeling depressed because of it, and you're not as happy with your current situation because you just wish things could be the way they used to be. And I'm sure, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people experience this at some point in their life. Like, for instance, like, wow, I really enjoyed being in second grade because it was really fun. You don't really have too many responsibilities, not really any worries, no stress. And I think a lot of people go through that at some point. And for me personally, it's kind of lately I mean, I'm a senior in college now. It's currently summertime, but I'm a senior in college now. And I've been thinking about what it was like when I was in middle school and what it was like when I was in high school, particularly in middle school. I think middle school was probably some of the best times for me, just because I mean, you really don't have any worries. You can pretty much do whatever. Well, I was able to do whatever wanted. I guess it really depends on how you were brought up, but my parents thankfully were pretty lenient as far as things that I was able to do um, outside of school. And so, I played sports. I had friends, and honestly, middle school was they're probably some of the best times for me, and I had a blast. And so I've kind of just been thinking about those times lately, and it almost makes me sad. It's just like, man, those times were so good, and I wish I could get them back. And the biggest thing is, that you can't get them back, and so it kind of it put me in this place where I just wish, and I kind of get stuck in almost like a trance state where I just wish so badly that I could go back to these times and experience them again. Like another example, for instance, like I used to play this game called Turok, and it was actually the very first game I ever played online on the Xbox 360 when I first got it, and this was actually during middle school. And I remember how fun it was, and how much how many good friends I made because of that game, and just how awesome the gameplay was. So, out of nostalgia, I picked it up off Amazon and tried playing online, and no one was playing, which was a pretty sad moment for me. I was just like, man, this sucks. All I want to do is try to play this online and experience what I'd experienced, earlier on in my life again, because I feel, and as I mentioned before, I think then the want to experience these, things that have happened in your life or experiences that you've had, wanting to have those happen again is a pretty common occurrence because, let's say things in your life right now aren't, I mean, they're not bad, but they're also, it just seems like they're not as good as they used to be, if you know what I mean. I mean, I by no means have a bad life, but there are times where I get so stressed out. It's just like, man, I wish I could go back to a time where I didn't have any stress. Like, I mean, there are a lot of those times. I mean, high school was probably one of those. I didn't really have too much stress in high school either. Um, and middle school, as I mentioned, just earlier times in my life, elementary school even, it was just times where I didn't have much stress. or things to worry about. I could literally go to school, I could have fun with my friends, I could go home, I could play video games, I could do literally whatever I wanted. And I think the change from being able to do whatever I wanted to having responsibilities and having all of this stress, from school, from maybe from work, uh, it kind of gets to you sometimes, and that's kind of where I've been lately. Trying to keep my head up, but I think what I've learned from this and what I want to urge to other people that are going through the same thing as me, where you're kind of always looking at the past and wanting to go back to those times. I think the best advice that I could give is to put your life into perspective right now and see what you can do to make the most out of your current situation. And I think that's probably the best thing that you can do, because there are always some positives in your life, and I think focusing on those positives and making sure that you're kind of putting emphasis on those positives is what's going to help you in the long run, to be honest. And I mean, I know the video is over, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. I kind of want to just get my message across. Um, but yeah, man, just enjoy life. Think about what you have now. Create new friendships. Experience new things, and create new memories that you can actually make the most of right now. And you're self aware and you're conscious that you're actually making an effort to take up to basically experience something to the fullest right now and be aware of that. And I think that's something that we all need to do. We need to be self-aware that, hey, man, this is a great time that's happening right now. It's good to be alive, and I think it's important to recognize that and kind of point that out and think about that every once in a while, just to make sure that time isn't passing you by, and you're just sitting there letting it happen. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.